Hey guys, Max back here at the Tips Bench. Today we're going to be showing you guys something fairly simple, but for those of you getting your first computer radio system, might be a little bit of a daunting task. We're going to show you how to bind up your Orange T6 to any of our Orange series DSM2 or DSMX receivers. So the couple things you're going to need, obviously first thing you're going to need is your Orange series transmitter. We have here our Orange T6, great DSM2 transmitter, nice 6-channel transmitter as your first transmitter. We have our OrangeRx R800X DSMX and DSM2 compatible receiver. We have a bind plug, which plays the key role here in binding everything up. We're going to be using one of our Turnigy TG9E servos just to show you once the binding process is done that everything will move and work correctly. And just to power our receiver, we're going to be using a 4AA battery holder. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to get our transmitter ready to bind. So what you're going to want to do is get your transmitter set on the model you want. Today we just have it set on an arbitrary model in our transmitter. So we have that all set, so go ahead and pick out your model that you want to bind your transmitter and your receiver to. So the next step, and potentially the most important step for binding, is to make sure you have your bind plug in your receiver properly. Now, on the R800, there's a channel that says bind or S-bus, and we're going to be putting our bind plug in there. There's no real correct direction to put it in, so just make sure you have your bind plug in the bind channel, plug it in, you're all set. Now we're going to take our servo and we're just going to put it in any channel. Again, we're just showing you once our binding procedure is done that we'll have a servo able to move. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to power it from any channel. Just make sure your polarity is correct. On our Orange receivers, signal is up, so our negative wire, our ground wire, is going to be face down. So we're going to be powering our receiver. Again, this is with our transmitter off. Not doing anything with the transmitter yet. So we're going to plug our power in. Now you'll see that our receiver has a rapidly flashing orange light. This indicates that you're in bind mode. So your receiver is ready to accept a signal from your transmitter. So now what you're going to do is you're going to flip and hold the trainer switch on your Orange T6, and that enables it to go into bind mode. So you're going to do that. You're going to flip the transmitter on. The transmitter will beep and say bind on the screen. You'll get a change in speed on the orange light on your receiver, and then it'll go solid. And once it goes solid, you can let go of the trainer switch, and you've completed the bind. Here you can see our servo's working. We have a successful bind. So the last thing you're going to want to do is power down your system. So when you power it down, the first thing you're going to want to do is take out your power source. Then you're going to want to make sure you remove your bind plug. If you leave it in and were to power everything on again, you'd have to go through the whole rebinding process, so make sure you pull it out. And now we're just going to power cycle our transmitter. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to power the receiver. Again, any port is totally fine. As you can see, our radio, or our transmitter, and our receiver are all bound. You see the solid light on the receiver. Got servo movement. So we're all set here and we're ready to go fly. Alright guys, so that about wraps it up for this tip. Remember, if you have any questions or anything you want to see tips on, make sure you comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more tips.